Courthouse in Phoenix. With me right now, and also taking your calls, is a close friend of Travis and Arias. He has visited Arias several times behind bars. Dan Freeman is with us, an actual defense witness. Dan, thank you for being with us.
Well, it's good to be here. Thank you, Nancy.
Dan, you stated that you observed an argument between Arias and Travis Alexander. What happened?
Which argument, the one over the backpack or the littler one when we were on down in Havasupai?
Backpack.
The backpack? I guess the short version of it is that, Jody brought down her backpack and set it on the table. We were getting ready to hike down into Havasupai and to leave for that hike. And I picked it up just to move it off the table, and in picking it up, her pack probably weighed 45, 50 pounds. It was a heavy pack. And I knew there was no way she was going to carry it, and it would end up either Travis or I or both of us would split it and carry it down in. So as she went back upstairs to finish getting ready, I just opened the outside pocket to see what there was, and it was full of lotions, potions, makeup, and things women want to make themselves look nice. And I started unloading some of the stuff that, to me, I was like, there's no way she's going to need any of this camping, and this will be doing her a huge favor.
Hey. Number one, not all women that go camping take, quote, lotions and potions, so don't be throwing us all in the same pot.
I do know that.
But
I was a survival instructor for a while, and I can tell you there are some who take hardly anything.
This is Dan Freeman, everyone, a close friend of Travis Alexander, who is taking your calls. He is a defense witness. Go ahead, dear.
She came back downstairs, and as she saw the pack and it was open, that there was things outside, she started to get frustrated, angry about that, and started going, "Why did you take things out of my pack?" And Travis said something back to her. And to me, what I saw was that the backpack wasn't the cause of whatever went on. It started it. To me, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And there had been something under the surface, and from my perspective and everything I'd seen, it was where they stood in their relationship. Jody wanted more. Travis didn't want to go more, but they still hung out together. And that was, to me,
visited her,
what I saw in that encounter.
You visited her behind bars. What was her demeanor? What did she say about the death of Travis?
In visiting her, I didn't talk to her a lot about that. She would ask how the family was, or I'd ask her how it was in there. And I visited her the first few years that she was behind bars several times, and come to find out about the time I stopped visiting was actually about the time that she changed her plea, which I actually didn't know, but we just talked about how things were. And I talked to
that's hard for me to take in. That I know Travis was a very dear friend of yours.
Yes,
and it's hard for me to take in that you wouldn't say, "Why'd you do it? Why did you kill Travis?"
Well, I didn't know she did, and by the time she changed her plea, I didn't even know that really until I came to court. And when I went there, because everything I knew and the person who I knew then. I couldn't believe that she had done it. And, I didn't follow the news. I don't own a TV. And so everything that I saw, I just saw people who didn't know her making accusations. And I thought, she could have done it in a crime of passion from the way that it went, but I don't know that. And if I don't know that she did it, I can't treat her as less than a friend. And I was telling somebody this yesterday, but I realized that I probably didn't ask because part of me maybe didn't want to know the answer to that question, and part of me, even in asking that question, showed that I already knew, or that I already expected that she had done it.
Dan, question. Arias stayed at your family's home for a week after Travis was killed to attend the memorial. What was her demeanor at that time?
She was distraught. I called her, and when she flew in and came in, her and I didn't have a lot of close conversations. I was helping Travis's family with cleaning up the house and doing some other things, but she was quiet. She was withdrawn. She didn't talk a lot. She talked to one of our friends a little bit more than me, but she just kind of sulked around the house. My mother found her several times, hugging her, in a fetal position on the floor or hugging her knees to her chest, either laying on the floor in the house or on the floor outside on the sidewalk. She was distraught. And initially I thought it was because she was distraught over losing Travis. And I had no inclination.
Now, when you first found out that Travis was killed, you actually called Jody on the telephone to let her know. What happened when you called her?
She went quiet for a minute. I called and I think said something to the effect of, after silence on my part for a minute too, but said something about, Travis is gone. And she, what do you mean he's gone? And I told her, and she was silent for a minute and then started to cry. And she got emotional. And after a minute or two of me just kind of listening to her cry, I let her know, hey, I'm here. Call me if you need anything. But, I'm going to get off and let you, there's a few other people I got to call. But I'm like, go heal or cry or do whatever you need to without me listening. And so she cried for a minute, and then we hung up and moved on.